So in this video, we're going to put together our little place card, and it's a little dahlia flower here. It's a pretty quick little project. You're going to take this main piece here, and you want to make sure that you get everything nice and folded. And this little part here is going to keep this thing nice and open for us. We're going to glue that down last. And what we want to do is begin by putting this little overlay piece on here. Now, this is going to be nice and flush at the top, and you pretty much know you have it in the right place when you have a nice little even border going all the way around this piece here. So I actually took a green ink pad, or green ink. I used my handy dandy applicator here, and I just kind of brushed a little bit of ink along the edge as well as on the leaves here. And I don't want to go into too much detail on that because it's pretty straightforward. Those are actually, Tim Holtz has a line of those. They're actually by Ranger, and they're just, I think they're called ink applicators. I actually got my last batch on Amazon, but they're also available at Joann. And I don't know if they're available at Michael's, but they're definitely available at Joann or like I said, on Amazon. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're getting a little bit of glue out on these little veins here as well. We'll just flip this over, and as I'm placing this down, I'm kind of looking to make sure that I've got it nice and flush with the top, and again, in doing so, should give me a nice even border up here for the actual leaf portion. I'm just going to push that flat. Just make sure that I have that in the right spot. Okay, that looks good. And just smush that flat. Okay, we have this little scrolly element here, and there are a series of little notches, tiny little score marks that are cut into this to kind of help you position this thing accurately. I mean, if it's off a little bit, it's not a big deal, but I know how you guys like to make things the same way that we do, which I totally understand. Okay, so just kind of follow those little placement markers there and get your piece glued down, just like that. Okay, and I also took a red ink to this orange piece here, just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. So pretty much done here. All we have to do is assemble the flower. And what you'll notice is that we've got two large pieces here, one that's a little bit smaller, two that are even smaller, and then one really tiny piece. Okay, now what I did with this was I grabbed my dowel, and actually you don't even need to use a dowel. I took and I just kind of cupped the petals around the dowel. So I just took and I kind of cupped and pinched the dowel, or the little petals around the dowel, just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. Okay, and that really, as you can see how the light plays with that when you train and kind of move the paper, you see how, you know, the light's hitting it from one angle and it's almost giving it like a gradient effect. So that really adds a lot of interest to your project when you kind of shape the paper. Okay, so you kind of do that to all the petals. Okay, and I've already kind of pre-prepped that, so you don't have to watch me do that 100 times. Okay, and then if you want, you can also kind of flare out the tips a little bit. I think cupping them is probably enough, and it may actually get rid of the cupping look if you try to do that too much, but you can always kind of bend just the tips back a little bit so that they kind of angle down at the end there. Kind of just go to town and have fun training and shaping this paper however you see fit. But that looks pretty good to me. So the idea with the flower is you're going to take one of the large ones, and we're just going to put a little bit of glue right in the center, and take our next one that looks, it's the exact same size, and place that right in the middle, just making sure that you're offsetting the petals so that they're not right on top of each other, because otherwise that would be kind of pointless. So this gives it even more dimension, like that. Okay, then you grab the next largest piece, just throw a little bit of glue on there, kind of spread that out thin so it dries quicker. You don't need a lot. And again, you're just offsetting the petals. And take a good look at that and make sure that you have it nice and centered before you push down and it takes on its final resting place, so to speak. Okay, so these again, I kind of pinch these. You can start with the dowel and then give them a little bit more of a cup. Okay, and then I'm gonna get that glued down. So this goes pretty quick. Typically, if I'm not doing a video showing you how to do all this stuff, it goes even quicker because you kind of get into a zone. Now I'm expecting, I've got Thanksgiving outside of the house this year, but I'm planning on doing a little Friendsgiving, and I think I'm gonna have maybe 8 people max. So if I'm making 8 of these, it's not that much work. It goes pretty quick once you kind of get into a zone. So you can see it all coming together here. Cupping them and training these little petals definitely should do that. Otherwise it's gonna look totally flat and not very dimensional, and the dimension is what really makes it pop. So, and again, just make sure that you keep offsetting the petals so that they're not right on top of each other, so that you have that little look where they're all kind of staggered. Okay, and then once this is completely dry, we can take and fluff these little petals out to kind of give this even more life. Kind of like that. It's not totally dry yet. And we're gonna finish this off with a little rhinestone. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of glue right in the center there. And I'm gonna put a nice little lime green limestone, or rhinestone, rhinestone, right in the center there. And then on the actual place card itself, over here, I'm gonna grab a nice little red rhinestone and put that right there. That looks almost a little too red for my liking. But actually I think that complements the flower nicely. So I always want to put a little bit of glue on there. I don't really trust the sticky back of the rhinestone itself. Typically that stuff falls off. So I always want to add a little bit of glue to make sure that it's permanent. Okay, and then we're going to take our flower and we're gonna adhere it right about here so that you have a little bit of that, the veins of the leaf there showing, and then you wanna make sure that you've got these leaves here showing as well. So I think the best place to put some glue would be probably right about here. Okay, just a nice little drop of glue, spread it out so that it's kind of thin, and then adhere that. Right about there is good. Maybe actually off to the left a little bit more, so we've got a little bit of it sticking out there. Okay, we're gonna let that set. And then once this is completely set, you can kind of take and pull these out a little bit to kind of create even more shadow under there and give this thing a little bit more life. Okay, and then once that's completely set, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of glue right on this little tab here. And I'm gonna spread that out. And then we're just gonna pop that right on the bottom here. Just make sure that you've got it nice and lined up. And just press that on there. Get it to hold. And you've got your beautiful little place card there. You can write the person's name, or if you want, before you go and actually assemble all of this, you can do a print and cut on this piece here if you're familiar with how to do that. But that is pretty much it for our little place card.